Hello and welcome to Let's Play of the Viceyroy. Yeah, so this game has just come out on Steam. As a result, OBS does not have it. You can't, record it unless you use a monitor capture. So for the first few episodes, the quality might be kind of low because that's how this game is being recorded. I went ahead and started a game and went and tweaked the options, because to access the options menu, actually apparently you can hit this up here. I didn't see that the first time, but anyways, I had to lower the music volume because it's incredibly loud. I looked over some of the stuff while I was in there, and this game looks really complicated. This is a blind Let's Play though, essentially. I don't know how any of it actually works, but I'm just going to replace that save here. So in this game, you are a viceroy. That is to say, like, an administrator of part of a larger empire. And within that empire, there are 3 primary cultures, which you can see on this screen. And at the start of the game, what we have to do is select one of these for our primary culture that we're going to support. And you can see here this description. In the Viceroy, you will rebuild a series of fallen areas called territories by researching technologies, constructing infrastructure projects, and curing lingering challenges. Your success at rebuilding a territory is measured by its influence score. You can turn in each assigned territory at any time to convert the influence the territory gained under your leadership into skill points for your character. You can do this at your palace, and if you succeed in earning promotion, you'll increase your skill cap and the base size and difficulty of the territories you're assigned to rebuild. So basically, the way that seems to work for me, based on what I've seen in the game so far, is once you amass enough points to get promoted, then you can get a new section unlocked, like a level, basically, is how it seems to work. And yeah, the game definitely does seem quite complicated. It's really quite similar, I would say, to, at least from what I've seen so far, to something like that DOS game, where you're in charge of the junta, or like the Shadow President game or something like that, or Victoria 2 a little bit even. But obviously it's set in space, and it has some 4X elements as well, as far as I can tell.
There are 3 dominant cultures within our region: the Commonwealth, the Panarchy, and the Empire of the Elect. You must declare your allegiance to the culture and subculture you most identify with. This will impact both your starting technologies and the culture character of your upper, middle, and lower classes.
Right, so that was kind of quiet, but if you couldn't hear, basically she said there's 3 cultures, which are the Imperial culture, the Commonwealth culture, and the Panarchy culture. And there's 2 factions for each culture. And we have to pick one of these for our primary culture that we're going to have in this playthrough. And so I'll go over and review each one of these. The Old Empire. The Empire of the Elect is the oldest living civilization in the known galaxy. Those who consider themselves part of the Old Empire practice its ancient traditions despite its long and slow decline. So let me just select it here. You can see the upper class culture of this empire is the citizens of the empire, and Imperial citizens believe the Empire of the Elect is destined to rule forever, as prophesied by the Beyonders. Don't know who that is, presumably it's probably like some old race or something. And support the authoritarian rule of those appointed to lead. Imperialists receive a bonus to industrial production for each Imperial technology a region implements. And you can see here there's the bonus, the plus industrial. The middle class for the Old Empire is the Panarchy. The middle class, made up of citizens of the Panarchy. Panarchists believe the best form of government is all governments simultaneously. I don't know how that's supposed to work. And create interlocking governments that rule over each other, or rule over that which they are best suited to rule. Panarchists receive a bonus to cultural production for each Panarchy technology a region implements. Based on that description, I would assume this is some sort of like technocratic administration, really, whereby there's, whatever the preferred oligarchic control mechanism is for some sort of society is used, but who knows how it actually functions. And then the lowest class in the Old Empire is the citizens of the Commonwealth. Citizens of the Commonwealth believe the government is a federal, tiered structure through which humanity finds its shared voice. Commonwealth citizens receive a bonus to biological production for each Commonwealth technology a region implements. So, Commonwealth are basically like Democrats. You know, they're in favor of democratic government as well as federalism. So, probably not the best for the purposes of stable ruling and whatnot. But bonus to biological, I think that's farming. I'm not sure yet though. And the starting technologies as the Old Empire are the miniaturized gate, which is the gate system can be modified and miniaturized to provide an instantaneous and effortless trade network between local systems. Because miniaturized gates do not tie in a larger network, their operation is incredibly efficient and reduces inter-system trade costs to effectively nothing. In fact, it does reduce them to nothing because it has a minus 100% inter-system trade cost bonus, so that seems pretty useful. Jaunting grids are the result of further miniaturization to the technologies behind the gate system. They provide individuals with instantaneous system-wide teleportation. Wow, that is pretty absurd. Access to this form of transportation eliminates the need for the majority of all transportation infrastructure, increasing crowding limits. That is... So, that's system-wide teleportation for every individual. That's ridiculous. Beyonder Retreat. The Beyonders have a burning curiosity about the nature of our reality and visit for purely recreational purposes if afforded the proper facilities. Their enthusiastic response increases the host civilization's esteem within the Empire of Elect and thus within the Commonwealth. Empire of the Elect of this... Okay, so I'm not exactly sure what the geopolitical structure of the galaxy or whatever is here. My guess is, based on this description, the Empire of the Elect is the highest tier of galactic government, but it's declined and probably doesn't have as much power, and therefore within the Empire is the Commonwealth, which is the very large, actually like dominant power, and then the Panarchy is probably like more on an individual basis per planet. But anyway, that's the Old Empire. Imperial Reformers. The Empire of the Elect as it was is all but gone. Those who consider themselves Imperial Reformers try to breathe new life into its ancient customs and prepare the ground for its revival. Okay, so the cultures are different. They swapped the middle-class culture. So for the Reformers, the Commonwealth is the middle class and the Panarchy is the lower class. That probably makes sense, realistically, because the... I believe the most populous class of people are the Commonwealth, followed by the Imperial and then the Panarchs. So in that case, the least populous Panarchs are the lower class, so that's a more efficient distribution of hierarchy there. But let's see what their starting technologies are. Frictionless highways. Frictionless materials are profoundly effective at eliminating the costs associated with the transportation of goods across planetary surfaces, but only if deployed widely enough that the specialized vehicles required to move goods on frictionless surfaces become economically viable. That's minus 100% inter-district trade cost, so that's a vastly inferior to the Old Empire's miniaturized gate, and also the Old Empire's teleportation thing seems like it would eliminate the need for these things as well, but it gives you the inter-district. I imagine that's on the planet, but because it is a highway, but who knows. Superconductive grid. The transmission of electricity is crucial to industry, but fraught with inefficiencies. A superconductive grid, capable of operating at ambient temperatures, combined with hypercapacitive storage, makes electrical transportation and storage perfectly efficient, increasing specialized industrial output. So they get even better at industry, which is the primary focus of the Empire. You get another industrial specialist multiplier from that. And superscalar towers. By stretching cities skyward and radically expanding the circumference of a single structure, living space is exponentially increased in the most desirable areas. Then this method of maximizing available space is made doubly effective by the minimization of transportation infrastructure it allows. So that's like, you know, planet city construction, like Coruscant, or, you know, like Trantor or something like that. Consensus Commonwealth. The Commonwealth of Territories is the single greatest power in the known galaxy. Those who follow the consensus promote the ideal and the reality of competent democratic government. So in the consensus, the upper class is the consensus, obviously, or the Commonwealth, rather. The middle class is the Panarchs, and the lower class the Imperials. Their starting technologies are local government, creche education, and common suffrage. Local government. Though simple in theory, the practice of efficiently creating a local government to interface with the planetary, systemic, territorial, and meta-regional governments of the galaxy is a subtle study and long-dead art in many places. However, proper implementation simplifies bureaucracies considerably. That seems like one of the most absurdly complicated topics to address. It gives you 5% less bureaucratic overhead and causes no overhead. Creche education? Not sure how you pronounce that. This systematic education of children to further understanding of science, technology, and the laws of the universe is an important and widespread practice, but it is also an expensive practice, often disrupted by the sorts of collapses that lead to a viceroy's rule. So this gives us plus 50% science capacity. And then we have common suffrage. Granting each citizen an even say in government is a hallmark of advanced civilization, providing a free flow of cultural exchanges and a multiplication of the efforts of cultural specialists. But it is often one of the first casualties of collapses that lead to a viceroy's rule. And that gives us an extra cultural specialist multiplier. So these guys seem like they are not particularly accustomed to handling crises. They are the business as usual government. Commonwealth unifiers. Those who consider themselves Commonwealth unifiers seek to take Commonwealth to the next level, dissolving local sovereignty and local cultures into a glorious, united whole. Their upper class is the Commonwealth, their middle class is the Imperial, and their lower class is the Panarch. That does seem sensible based on the whole one culture idea. Their starting technologies: Colonial Office, Landed Meritocracy, and Palace of the Arts. These offices are the point of contact for the Commonwealth's concept of mutual colonization. They serve as centers of cultural exchange for far-off and local cultures alike, facilitating immigration, cultural ambassadorship, and cross-cultural pollination throughout the district. Give us +1 cultural productivity in the district. Landed Meritocracy is a process by which a portion of society's wealth is transferred not by inheritance, but instead to the economic, political, and cultural stars of the moment from those who previously benefited. This creates a more timely and agile economy that increases returns, plus 5% rate of return. That's an interesting concept. So that's basically like, I mean, it's an aristocracy of action, I suppose. So that's quite an interesting idea. And Palace of the Arts. This pillar of the Commonwealth is as much an institution as a structure. It provides both a grand display and a continuous budget for all forms of art, elevating the traditions of local culture to an easily exportable and locally consumable form, multiplying the efforts of cultural specialists. So those guys seem to have quite the focus on culture. But oddly enough, their lower class is the Panarchy, or the culture faction. Now we're on to the Panarchy. The Panarchy is the power behind the Commonwealth. Panarchy ritualists believe the form of many overlapping governments within the Panarchy to be more important than their function. Strange belief, but sure, they have middle-class Imperial, upper-class Panarch, and lower-class Commonwealth. They have a Panarchization policy, a public policy that actively and simultaneously pursues conflicting civic goals, as embraced by the Panarchy, pays immediate cultural dividends, it enfolds the whole of your civilization into its civic heart, and by acceptance promotes the pursuit of meaning. So it gives us +1 cultural productivity. Then Panarchic retreat, host vacations, and policy summits, a useful duality that attracts a rotating selection of the best from the Panarchy itself. It produces glowing vacation reviews and serious praise from important individuals, or important officials and policymakers, increasing the influence of the host district. And influence seems to be the primary currency. I mean, there's real money. The primary currency is player character that we're interested in. And Panarchic data post. By collecting the data using multiple simultaneous methodologies, then collating the data back through each approach's lenses and prejudices, the Panarchy achieves a much better governmental understanding of the state of a district than would otherwise be possible using only a single perspective that affects the district and applies that buff that we had from the Commonwealth under the local government. So it's identical buff. It's just this is the statistician's way, and the other way is the Republican's way. So then we have, lastly, the Panarchy Informalists. Panarchy Informalists believe that the efficiency and effectiveness possible when multiple overlapping governments exist within one jurisdiction is the purpose and meaning of the Panarchy. They have upper-class Panarchs, middle-class Commonwealth. Yeah, they just swapped those two. And then starting technologies. Computerized markets. The hybrid manual and computerized markets common on the many primitive worlds offer far too many opportunities for market manipulation for true economic health. Fully computerized markets level the playing field and prevent the manipulation of the buying and selling process, increasing stability and returns, giving us a rate of return bonus. Telepathic dust. This nanorobotic cloud transmits fragments of emotion and thought from one person to the next when inhaled. While this dust does not transfer complete concepts or emotions, it forms an impression of shared experience that enhances the effectiveness of cultural specialists. And lastly, predictive supply chain. If just-in-time supply chains are the hallmark of civilization, predictive supply chains that react to future conditions in the hours before they emerge are the hallmark of advanced civilization. This industrial foresight reduces economic waste and inefficiency, improving general productivity. Well, that is certainly a rather advanced idea. So I think I'm going to just post this first video here, and I'll decide which faction to play as based on whoever gets the most responses in the comments. And hopefully by the time that I make the next video, the resolution issue will be fixed. So, signing off for now.